The best Mega Man games are made by the fans, not by Capcom. This has been said again and again, and probably one of the first to state it was series creator Inafune himself. Because the first original Game Boy title was outsourced to Minakuchi Engineering, where a fan was leading the project of designing a pseudo-sequel using assets but not much else of the first two NES games. Like Donkey Kong Land, which I showed off in another LP, the stage design is completely different from its source material. Unlike that game, however, the creators had a keen sense of what worked on the small handheld screen and what didn't. And as Inafune reportedly said, they truly got Mega Man in a way which he had always been missing at Capcom. The result, released in 1991, is the beginning of a series which would eventually culminate in the two best 8-bit Mega Man titles. Join me for rough beginnings but great promise. I am Simon, and this is Let's Play Mega Man Dr. Wily's Revenge. The story is quickly told, and you could have read it yourself in that last picture if you hadn't been enchanted by my beautiful voice. Dr. Wily has rebuilt 8 robots and tries to take over the world. Oh yeah, and he also built another one specifically to kill Mega named Anchor after Japanese music genre. And what else do you need? Apparently not Guts and Ballman, because they got the cut. I'm very sorry for that, but not really. Cutman was one of the easiest levels and the easiest boss of the original, so it's a great place to start, right? So yeah, we got normal walking, jumping, shooting, Mega Man style, very classic, with one added problem. The jump doesn't completely cancel your momentum as it did before. You will travel a little longer than you're used to, which can kind of trip you off. This game features a lot of new enemies, like this Sawblade one for example, some of which can be rather hit or miss. This guy for example takes far too long to kill in my opinion, but it is a nice touch nonetheless. Did you see how much more I traveled than I should have, really, by just dropping down? I did let go of the button. Readily apparent in this passage is that this game is all about positioning. It is far more of a puzzle to see where you can stand and what is not allowed. Like here for example, if I take one more step to the right than I do, then both enemies will activate at once and I will be in a world of pain, trapped between too many hard places at once to dodge. The screwdriver is positioned perfectly so that I cannot actually edge downwards. Another perfect position is how they use the respawn on the saw blade to make it be there when you take the return trip. Overall, I feel like this game does make very good use of the limited Game Boy screen size, unlike many others like even the Zero games who are very hampered by how little you can see. This game does know its limitations very well. Man, the jump to the X-Drive was really hard. So yeah, it's far more about gorging where you can stand and less about the action itself, and also much about the big moves like here. Yeah, you can also see how the saw blades have different speeds. One of them is going ballistic here, and it is really hard to dodge if you don't know where it is coming. Another aspect, this one here, doesn't move at all, which I always forget, make ready to dodge and then get pushed off mercilessly. But yeah, it shows that the checkpoint placement is also pretty damn tough in this game, because there wasn't one so far. Slowly moving onwards. And another feature of this game, asshole jumps returning from where I dubbed them in Mega Man 4. If you do not edge to the very edge of the platform here, then you will get killed because you bonk your head and fall into the bottomless pit. Not fun. Again, if you get this energy pellet, then the screwdriver will respawn and you better know that you can't just hang out here and let the bullet graze your head without getting you hit. Here I jump down very carefully because I do not want the extra momentum to carry me downwards. This is a room that perfectly illustrates the puzzle nature of the game, where you have to be very careful in looking where you can stand, where it is safe, and you have to figure out how to best approach the room. This being a design paradigm actually makes me accept the block puzzles I hate so much in other Mega Man games much more in this game, because as the pace is very slow to begin with, but not actually worse than most other games, it does make it far more okay. That Joe was an asshole, by the way, and we will respawn right in front of him if we ever die, but a far bigger asshole are these new enemies. The Clippers are very tough to avoid because you have to be very specific in what you can do with them, and as you can see the gloves come off immediately. You have to make very sure to not go too far to the right so that saw blade will not activate prematurely, because otherwise you have to pay attention to too many things at once and you cannot kill it in time. Like this big guy here, which I have a great trouble dealing with. They are now invincible and standing on the floor, not cool. And this here is also not cool, because if I get hit at all by the saw blade in the second part of the conveyor belt, then I will be dead. Because I will be invulnerable, whoops, stick move again, invulnerable and immobile for as long as it takes for the conveyor to carry me into the pit. This is how you deal with Joes normally, and it is a pain in my butt. Especially because they tend to fire pretty quickly. Far harder is this part here, one of the toughest challenges to not get hit on in any of the games I've played so far. Mega Man games, that is. I want to show it off more, but I fail pretty miserably, and even more so now. Hopefully I will be able to do the boss without getting hit. No. I have accepted deaths for this run, as you have already seen, because it is a pretty tough little game. Also, Cutman is an asshole, complete and utter bitch, and revamped so much from his original it's not even funny. He is very frantic in his movements and can easily deal with you, which you're going to see more of after I show off how to deal with the big guys. Yes, you can go them into jumping, but I have never figured out the exact timing, and there is no way in hell you're going to kill him before he reaches you. And this is how you deal with this segment. Jump, go back again, then forward, and wow, I have no idea how I managed to avoid getting hit here. Back to the main playthrough. So, Cutman has the neat feature that he does jump as soon as you're near him. Which means that if you are running full speed at him, he will jump over your head, otherwise he will most likely end up within Mega, which hurts. I have no idea what exactly triggers his shooting the blade, which is a big problem because he tends to pull it out whenever he wants and corner you very easily. As his weakness to the Buster is completely gone, both with him taking double damage and him getting knocked back, it means that you have no way of avoiding him unless you know very well how to manipulate his movements. As I've already said, I have only figured out how to deal with the jumping part. And as he's also faster than you cannot really run away, which makes the whole thing very tough. At the end I just decided, okay, I will win the damage race, but holy shit, not a cool boss. Ah! Not a cool image either. What happened to Mega, really? Ooh. At least we got the best weapon in the game for our troubles. Definitely is. And it will prove that in the future. So yes, this was the first stage of Dr. Wily's Revenge, a marked step up in difficulty from the original, at least in overall difficulty and not in sudden spikes of it. I hope you will join me for more videos where I show off more of it. Thank you very much for your attention.